This is the weekly forecast reading for the 30th of January week of 2017. It includes both your love as well as your general forecast, and should I say not both, also includes your soul path reading. Going to start off with your love reading. And the first card that comes up is the card of the Green Man. And this says it's time to put some life force back in your relationships. So your relationships are possibly lacking energy at the moment. Now, the easiest way to do this is to get outdoors a bit and go and do something physical. Go for a walk in the park. Go for a jog together, if that's what you enjoy. But it's about getting the blood flowing in your veins again, doing something physical outdoors in nature if possible. Now, I know that's not possible in some parts of the world. You're in the middle of winter and it's awfully cold. But then possibly sit in front of a warm fireplace and look at pictures of beautiful nature places. But somehow get that feeling of nature back into your life again and getting closer to nature. I think what it is as well is getting a bit away from the television screens, the mobile screens, the iPad screens, the whatever, the computer screen ever. It's trying to get back into contact with life force again, and those things don't have life force. And then you'll find your relationships are revitalized again. And if you're looking for a relationship or a partnership, that's the place to look for it too. For those of you in the southern hemisphere that can still get outdoors, or northern hemisphere countries with better weather, go outdoors, go to parks, go to places where there's nature, and that's possibly where you're going to meet somebody this week. For the rest of you, the place to look for a person is where there's a closer contact with nature or with natural existence, not quite so focused on electronics and materialistic modern life. That's the message that's coming through. I hope you're understanding that, or I hope I'm saying it in a way that it can be understood. Because the next card that comes up says the weather in relationships is changing. There's a constant theme in this reading of this change happening. That's why I used that sunset in the background. And it's almost as if something is drawing to a close and we're now on the threshold of something different. But it's a transitional phase. It's not going to be overnight. But we're definitely moving out of one phase of existence or one phase that happened and moving into another. And where relationships are concerned, you can see now that storm is moving past, the sun is breaking through the clouds, and that's the phase that relationships are in at the moment. So if you're in a relationship and it's been bumpy, know that that phase is about to pass and you're about to move into slightly easier times. And those of you that have been having a bumpy ride trying to find somebody, know that this is about to ease up. It's about to become easier to meet somebody, and when you do meet someone, it's going to be an easier thing to do, and the relationship is going to be better than the last few that haven't worked out. Then the final card that comes up in your relationships reading says that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. This continues another very strong theme in this reading. There's a deep feeling of regret seemingly attached to this week. And the message is rather don't do that. Things have gone. We have lost things. Things are not the same. But what this message is that's coming through is don't look at it like that. Look at it as it was wonderful to have it in your life. But its purpose has been served. The part it had to play in your story now moves on. What you do when you get too regretful, and that's the very strong message with this reading, is that you then become fearful of it repeating in the future. And that's what this last card in your relationship reading is all about. Don't do that. Rather love and lose than never love at all. So when there is a chance to love again, don't get weighed down by the fear of loss, so that you don't either fully engage in the relationship or even start up in it because you're too scared you're going to lose it because that's what happened in the past. Don't go there. If you meet someone new now, just enjoy it. See where it goes. There's no guarantee it's going to do what the last relationship did. In fact, because we've just been through a 4 to 5, even for some of us, 6-year phase of relationships just being, well, let's say tumultuous and giving us a hard time and a runaround, that phase is actually now phasing out. That cycle is phasing out. So that's not saying it's going to be all roses for the rest of your lifetime, but it's going to be different to what it was. Now, your general forecast reading carries on with this theme because it's the first card that comes up says, think about this as you would almost a tick list, a grocery list, if you will. Think of all the things that have transpired in the last 4 to 6 years. Just think about them. Don't judge them. Try not to actually get the feelings that are attached to them. Just look at them, tick them off your list, and then let it go. Because what it is saying is, this is now time for all those things to let go of them, to let them move into your past, because your past is your past. Life is transitioning now, it's changing now, and if you hold on to those feelings, especially that are attached to the memories, you can't make the transition, and you can't see what is coming up ahead. And even when it's right there in front of you, you're so focused on what happened in the past, and the disappointment, the anger, the hurt, whatever that was attached to it, that you cannot see what's right in front of you now. And that Lady Titania card says that says be joyful. That card speaks about reconnecting with people again on a joyful basis. So it says it's possible now. Relationships with people, organizations, career-wise, those kind of relationships need not necessarily now go along the path they always have before. You have a chance now to get better relationships within career. Even your relationship with your career can now change. Think about that. It can now be better than it was before, or different than it was before. Nothing is going to be perfect forever. Nothing is going to be just joyful and lovely and rainbows till the end of our lives. We need challenges. That's how we grow. But it's going to change now. It's going to be different. You're going to be given that opportunity to have a good relationship with your career, with your health, with the people at work. Because that last card in this part of the reading, your general reading, 5 of Cups basically underscores that, doesn't it? The 5 of Cups says, yes, 3 cups have spilt. You cannot get back what they've spilt. It is gone forever. But 2 cups are still full. And that is where you must look. That is what that raven is doing in this card. It's looking up at the 2 cups that it still has and letting the spilt ones flow away, because it is in the 2 cups of the future that your enthusiasm and your heart must rest, basically, and your mind and your thoughts. It's time to let go of the past. Then the soul lesson here, the soul path that is actually being taught here is, we were looking for our happiness in the wrong places. We were looking for our fulfillment in the wrong places. For some of you, you were physically looking for it in the wrong place. You may even have been living in the wrong place. You may even have been in the wrong job. You may even have been in the wrong relationship. For others of us, we have looked for material gain. Well, that's a modern Western phenomenon, isn't it? We think material gain is where happiness lies. If we have money, we will be happy. When in the meantime, perhaps we should have been looking for enjoyment to be found in the profession we choose, our relationships to be more important than what we have in our bank accounts. It's a case of we were looking in the wrong place for happiness, and when we did that, life did teach us a lesson. Whether we got the lesson or not, well, time will tell. But this is about look somewhere else. You're looking in the wrong place for fulfillment, but it is there. The card actually says it's on a distant shore. That's metaphorically or physically speaking. So for each of you, think about how that relates in your life. Now that final card says that whatever tradition or others expect of you, only to yourself be true. That is your compass point, the needle pointing north on the compass for you. That is your guideline. That is a pearl of wisdom for you this week. There is a stirring in those of you who will be watching this video that is nudging you and guiding you to what you should be doing. And not should isn't what is right, but what feels right in your heart and your soul. And it's just maybe a tiny stirring in some of you, and others of you it's already pushing pretty hard. That's what you follow. And if your family are all doctors and dentists and they earn huge salaries and you don't want to follow that, but you've already headed in that direction, but you're being pushed in another direction. This is just an example I'm using. That's especially what tradition and culture expect of us, is to be successful, prominent, people to envy us. That is going to fall away. It's going to fall by the wayside for a lot of you as you realize and recognize fulfillment and happiness is found elsewhere. For each of you, that is going to play out differently. I'll leave you to think about it. If you would like a personal reading, so we can have a look at exactly how this is going to play out in your life and how these changes can take place and how you can make them happen in your relationships, your career, your health, you can contact me at theoracletimes@gmail.com or book a reading via the website. You'll see in these next two frames it explains what kinds of reading are available, how to book them. If you have your own tarot decks, read your own cards for a small fee, I'll read it. Good fun, very good to do. Right, I do hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Yes, and those of you who comment on the videos, thank you for that. I really enjoy it. I read every comment, and for the most part, I actually reply to everyone as well, or give it a heart.